Well, hello everybody. It's good to be back from my break, and today I've got some stuff that I've really got to talk about. Many of you guys have probably thought about this whole situation as nothing other than like pointless parasocial drama. And to be completely honest with you, besides one thing, something that I genuinely feel morally obliged to apologize for, I do think that it's mostly been that, just petty parasocial internet drama. Though I will say the effect it's had on my channel has been pretty astronomical. The last time I've lost this many subs in this short of a period of time was the sex cult drama, which is pretty crazy to think about. Regardless, my channel's still doing okay. Like, I'm not at risk of collapsing or anything. I've got 600 people watching right now, but it has been a pretty big hit to my channel. I've lost over 3,000 subs in about a week and a half, so I do feel the need to respond to the numerous lies that have been said about me, but as I said before, to also apologize for something I've did in all this that is an objective wrong. So, I took some time off, both because dealing with drama during the holiday season, and also, you know, just getting a lot of hate in general and having a lot of negativity coming my way, it'd be best to just sort of take the time off while I enjoy Christmas, and when I have the free time and things are calm, to just put together a proper response written up with receipts, clips, all that good stuff, prepared and ready for all of you. And that's what I'm going to be reading to you all today, as well as showing you quite a few clips that I have gathered. I have prepared the script, and I'm going to try to stay mostly on script, but I'm going to ask that any of you guys who can think of any damning claims that have been made about me in all of this that I forget to acknowledge, feel free to at me in the chat, because I can't really remember and write out everything, and so having you guys able to remind me of anything I forget would be kind of nice. So that's also part of why I'm doing this live in the first place. So, with all that out of the way, let's get started. Hey everyone, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Before getting started, I feel I should let you all know where I've been for the last week or so. As you may guess, I've had a lot of hate comments come my way because of this drama, and I decided it would be best to just let Keffals make all of her videos milking this and lying about me before I do my final response and just enjoy the holidays without wading through drama. I was also originally going to make this a pre-recorded video, but I figured doing this live will allow me to respond to claims made about me that I may forget to include here. I'm going to try to stick to just reading what I have written here, but if I see a claim or question that really needs to be answered in chat, I will for the sake of including it in the response. A lot has happened since this all started with me publicly burning the bridge with Keffals, but since that point, I basically completely allowed Keffals to control the narrative with her multitude of drama streams she's done about me, despite this being my first actual video about her through all of this. I will admit, however, and I think it's important to get to this as early on as possible, I made one big mistake in all of this that I absolutely have to take accountability for and apologize for with an explanation before we move on. Late into this drama, while I was receiving a massive amount of hate from both my and Keffals fans, one of my regular viewers commented something supportive of me which mentioned at the time non-debunked allegations that Keffals was an abuser. I retweeted it, since it was one of the few tweets not insulting me during all of this without researching the allegations myself. At this point, I'd heard of the allegations before a couple weeks prior, but forgot about them after thinking I'll just wait for her response. Me and Keffals were friends at the time. I was just like, I'll wait, you know? I'll wait and see how she responds whenever I first heard about them. In response to my retweet of this person mentioning the allegations, Keffals would do a stream and thoroughly debunk them. Not only that, but Keffals proved, undoubtedly, she was in fact the victim in that situation, not the abuser. While I disagree with this framing that I made her relive her abuse by forcing her to debunk the allegations, I definitely made a big and hurtful mistake by retweeting that claim so flippantly. I've had similar things done to me, so I know how much it sucks to have people support your abuser who's engaging in public darvo against you. I truly am sorry to both Keffals and to all of you. I admit that while getting non-stop hate online, pretty much any comment backing me up was getting retweeted by me, and I really should have thought about it before signal boosting such serious allegations. I won't make any excuses for this behavior, but I will point out why I found this specific mistake I made getting so much negative attention a little ironic. So, for those that don't know why I got a little defensive, not really defensive, I kind of just slinked away and didn't immediately put out the apology, is because I guess the irony that I feel it would be remiss of me to point out is that Keffals has a habit of doing the same thing, but arguably worse. I don't think it's good when either of us
meanwhile
do it.
he stealths people, which is legitimate.
This is Keffals talking about Destiny. And obviously what she's saying here is not true.
Oh yeah, meanwhile he stealths people, which is legitimately a form of rape. Insane. Insane shit.
What is stealthing? Taking off the condom without telling your partner. And like, it's rape. It's basically just like stealthfully removing the condom. To be fair, she has apologized for this, but it is not the only example. She's also called Chudlogic a pedophile and called Keemstar a pedophile on Twitter as recently as a couple days ago. Yeah, literally on Christmas Eve, she, on Twitter, replied to Keemstar, "I've always wanted to ratio a pedophile." Which, like, fuck Keemstar and everything, but also, can you see where, like, a little bit of my defensiveness came from with, like, okay, I definitely was in the wrong, but also, holy shit, you know? The fact that I like none of these people doesn't change that repeating or starting false allegations of a serious nature against them is not okay. I did the same to Keffals by retweeting that post, and while it is a little ironic, it doesn't change the fact that I engaged in one of the bad behaviors commonly practiced by the person I'm trying to argue against, and that disappoints me as well as you. It really upsets me that I did something so stupid and wrong, because besides that fuck-up, I feel I've been pretty well-reasoned and correct in all of this, though very misrepresented and lied about. While I did wrong Keffals by signal boosting those false allegations and take the L on it, that followed and was followed by countless lies about me from Keffals that I don't believe me making that mistake cancels out or takes away my right to debunk. I hope you'll all listen to me as I explain my side of this. I'm going to start with a recap of events many of you already know, but others have lied about to make me seem unreasonable. So, we're going to be going back in time here a little bit, about a year back in time, and get into some very important context. Back in 2019, when my channel was still a little baby in the space of internet politics, I found myself becoming friends with a content creator named Shoe on Head. I was well aware of her before we became friends since I'd watched her videos for years back when I was a chuddy teenager. So her now wanting to be my friend felt like a big step up in my journey as a content creator. All of this coincided with a very clear heel turn in her public politics towards progressive socialism. She was super on the Bernie wave. Times were good. It was great fun. The problems began to start with people wanting to hold Shoe to account for things she said in the years past. Everyone from random Twitter users to my own fans were demanding I answer for the past actions of this woman. To be fair, I was and am a public figure, and if I'm going to publicly associate with someone, I figure I ought to be able to defend it, so I did. There are numerous videos on my channel from the years of 2019 to 2022 defending Shoe from negative claims made about her, since I see my friendships as an extension of myself in a way. I've been accused of saying that I see my friendships as an extension of myself as being, like, narcissistic or egotistical. Maybe that's just a very, like, American Southern phrase that's not, like, commonly repeated outside of, like, where I grew up, but that is a phrase I heard from teachers, guidance counselors, like, just older people giving advice and, like, just all the time growing up. Like, your friends are an extension of yourself. The point is, yeah, you are the company you keep is also another word for it, so I don't know. I understand the wording is weird. Maybe it's a more regional thing, but it basically means you are the company you keep is what my friends are an extension of myself means. Yeah. Also, here's a screenshot of one of those videos I made from back in the day. There are many more, but it's just an example of a video I made defending Shoe. It's no secret I used to make videos defending Shoe. I don't feel that's super in need of proving, but I decided to include evidence regardless. Lots of evidence in this. I think someone's friends say a lot about them, and when people said my friendship with Shoe was bad, that was also an indictment of my judgment. At the start, these criticisms were for relatively mundane and defendable things. The really bad things she did in the past seem to have been apologized for, so I only really cared about her actions now. This started to change in late 2020. Bernie lost the Democratic primary, and Shu's politics were broken forever from that point, making my public association much harder to defend from then on. Here's Shu's video from when Bernie lost 5 Ways to Cope. It's actually a good thumbnail. I like that thumbnail. Yeah, it's a very southern phrase. Thank you. She would regularly push relatively harmless conspiracy theories and Nazgul talking points, but 90% of what she said was still Soke-Dem leaning, so I defended it. Then, in late 2020, I had a debate with an old acquaintance, now wretched, dark arch enemies of each other, of Shuon Heads, Cult of Dusty. I like Cult of Dusty, by the way. I think he's cool. He challenged me, or I challenged him, I actually don't remember, to a debate on whether associating with Shu publicly as a left-wing figures was responsible. And, credit where credit is due, he decisively whooped me in that debate. He did. You can watch it yourself if you want to see, but for a summary, he brought a lot more receipts on Shu than I was expecting. The aftermath really started to make me question whether I was making the right choice by defending her. At the end of the day, she'd also defended me before and had been so nice to me in private, it felt wrong to stop associating with her over things that were mostly in her past. So regrettably, I continued to defend my public association with Shu. Things would start to change as a new trend in her behavior became apparent. My long-term LGBT viewers should be well aware of the yearly kink at pride discourse that Shu would not necessarily create or start, but often bolster with her platform. Regardless of your position on this issue, it's undeniable that every time she would, say, tweet something like this, I'll show it to you in a second, that on its own isn't really too disagreeable, reading her comments quickly tells you that regardless of her motivations, her community and right-wing pundits take this stuff very differently than she does. And I included a good tweet here that points out how that drama with the whole "it's not gonna lick itself" thing, the drag thing. The crazy part about the kids' drag show was that was a nothing burger, is that the loser that infiltrated it got less than 2K likes, and Shuonhead got 59,000 and made it go viral. So viral it ended up on Tucker Carlson, you'll see in a moment. All of this came to a fever pitch in June, Pride Month of 2022, when Shu skyrocketed this photo into the conservative media sphere. So you can see Tucker Carlson covered it, pretty big time. Tim Pool did, and many others, but these are just the examples I was easily able to grab just from searching on Google Images, dude. That's literally where I got a lot of these sources, because some tweets have been deleted, some stuff's been buried, but, like, this stuff's not, like, hard to find, and there's a lot more than I'm even putting here. I won't pretend like Shu started doing this. I won't pretend like Shu started doing this. There were no conservatives, oh my god, I keep fumbling it. Listen, editors, we can fix it. I won't pretend like before Shu started doing this, there were no conservatives pedo-jacketing trans and gay people, but the drag queens around kids discussion was absolutely mainstreamed in large part by her. In fact, she even accepted this back when it happened. This is her apology, which I think has since been deleted. After that went to Tucker Carlson and blew up, and a ton of anti-gay and anti-trans hate was caused by her. She wrote this apology thread that I honestly, she deleted it. Yeah, her deleting this was also, I forgot to include it in the script, but her deleting this apology thread for that and the Balenciaga thing were sort of the Balenciaga thing was the piece of hay that fell on top of this piece of hay that broke the camel's back, you know? If that makes sense. You can pause that to read her apology. She's taken it back effectively, so yeah. Here's Shu's Twitter apology she made to her LGBT community members who felt betrayed by her playing into their bigoted hands so well. She genuinely seems sad that this discourse had reached Tucker Carlson's show and many other sources of conservative propaganda as a result of her actions. I actually thought that this apology would be the start of a new arc for her, but I was really, really wrong. In private, Shu's new boyfriend, now husband, was causing some inter-group chat drama due to his questionable politics. Frankly, I would feel comfortable just calling him a Nazi and moving on, but here are some things that make me think that he is one, and I'll let you decide yourselves. So, this is quote tweeting SDL, saying white nationalism and Nazism are both rightist ideologies that seek to take power from the many and concentrate it to among the few. Eudaimonia, who is Shu's husband, replies, "Imagine being so direction-brained that you think Nazism is a rightist ideology. These people are dangerous ideologues." Okay, so thinking that Nazism is right-wing makes you a dangerous ideologue, I see. Okay, cool. Quote tweeting ContraPoints, who said, "So maddening to have watched white nationalism spread from Stormfront to 4chan to YouTube to Steve Bannon to Tucker Carlson to the manifestos of multiple mass murderers and not taken seriously because they're not wearing," I assume she goes on to say, like, they're not wearing white power patches or whatever. Eudaimonia quote tweets and says, "Yeah, that would be crazy if it were actually happening." And then this is a tweet he liked. Quote, "Replacement theory is a dangerous conspiracy theory, but also Texas is going to be blue due to immigration in a decade, and Republicans will never win another election. Ah ha 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 ha." That was liked by him. So yeah, he's a Nazi, okay? He's at the very least a fascist. I'm not particularly, like, bent out of shape on accurately labeling my far-right weirdos, so hit me with criticism for that, if you will. As it turns out, he is a tradcath and pretty hardline conservative. There were always people in Shu's GC and sphere that would defend him, but I think some, including me, were skeeved out for obvious reasons. I definitely gave her some shit for being a lefty who dates alt-righters, but I tried to just accept that sometimes love can override political barriers, and it wasn't really my business. Of course, Shu's interest in fashy dudes is not the reason I burnt the bridge, but rather something I view as far worse. She went back on that apology she made before to her LGBT fans. I don't mean literally saying, "Never mind, I'm not sorry," later on, but her actions would show this more than her words. On the 20th of November, 2022, a far-right gunman would enter the Club Q nightclub and proceed to murder, in cold blood, 5 people and injure a total of 25 people. I also have a photo of the really nice memorial set up outside Club Q. People really came out in force to show solidarity, you know? The shooter has since been sentenced to life in prison. However, it is very widely agreed upon that this attack was motivated by the same anti-queer bigotry that drives many of the anti-gay groomer talking points that have become inescapable in the last year. The day of and after the shooting was a day of mourning for much of the LGBT community. The hate that so many people were trying to fight had led to the deaths of a bunch of innocent people. For Shu, the day after the Club Q shooting warranted a different response. After seeing what started out as a very niche right-wing conspiracy theory being posted by her friend Brittany Venti, an alt-writer, and many of you guys don't know this. This is something that came to me recently, and many don't know about this. Brittany Venti, an alt-writer and Charlottesville tiki torch carrier, most famous for getting banned from Twitch for doing an African cooking show, as she called it, which consisted of her making noises and mud pies. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm referring to the tiki torch carrier. Many people haven't seen this footage. The woman you see here walking with the tiki torch carriers at Charlottesville is Brittany Venti, Shu's friend, who Shu got the Balenciaga conspiracy theory from. Let's go, guys! Let's go! You can tell because no one else has that much distance between their eyes, you know? So, you know, just Shu casually being friends with one of the people who marched with the tiki torches chanting, "You will not replace us," at Charlottesville. Very casual. She retweeted a post about how fashion company Balenciaga was signaling pro-pedophile messaging. She decided to quote tweet it, thus blowing it up. Now, this far-right conspiracy theory never had any ground to stand on in the first place, but with a year having passed, I think we can pretty safely say we'd know by now if they were onto something. Funnily enough, many don't even know Balenciaga put out a statement addressing it. They put out a pretty standard corporate apology. Like, nothing all that juicy, just like, "We're sorry for this, we shouldn't have, like, had kids with sexually suggestive materials," which I agree with. I think that's fine. I think, like, a controversy over the the suggestivity of the images and even, like, how kinda, you know, just sussy it is to have kids in that industry at all would be fine, but that wasn't what the controversy was over. They claimed that these photos, While certainly distasteful, and this separate and unrelated photo from a different shoot were somehow clues for people to pick up on for pro-pedo messaging. Remember, guys, they lied about this, but they said that these were part of the same shoot. They weren't. These were months and months apart, from my understanding. And yeah, they had this purse, and then the photos of the kids, and they thought these must be connected, and they must be signaling something. You see, it's so big-brained. They're the creepy photo shoots of the kids, and here you have a handbag with some papers in the background that seem to be a Supreme Court ruling pertaining to a child sexual assault material laws. Obviously, if you're not a conspiracy-brained right-winger, you probably already see the clear flaws in this conspiracy theory, such as actual child protective institutions going on record to say that conspiracy theories, like Pizzagate and Wayfair, were massive hindrances to their ability to actually protect children. This has been stated by many institutions, by the way. A QAnon con, how the viral Wayfair sex trafficking lie hurt real kids. An internet mob wanted to rescue a 13-year-old girl. Instead, they terrified her, derailed real trafficking investigations, and incited Save the Children violence. It is a long-going issue with the far right, and she fed into it. And of course, the fact that it's actually insane to claim such a broad and serious conspiracy to your massive audience. Here's just one of the Balenciaga stores that was defaced with graffiti claiming the people inside are pedophiles, which is just absolutely great for the minimum wage employees folding clothes in there, you know? If this was where it ended, just with her tweet, it wouldn't have been as big a deal. However, Shu's mutuals, followers, and large political pundits like Tucker Carlson, as I'd find out, have gotten their topics from Shu's Twitter feed before, jumped onto this conspiracy after Shu signal boosted it, and did something very different with the conspiracy than I think Shu even intended. You see, the day after the Club Q shooting may have been a day of mourning for the LGBT community, but it was also a day of celebration for the far right. These ghouls cheer on the deaths of trans people, and Shu had given them a new toy to play with. Within 24 hours of Shu's tweet, the Balenciaga pedo controversy was on Tucker's night show. The right was doing what the right does with unfounded conspiracy theories about the entities they can frame as even marginally left-leaning or pro-gay being pedophiles, and ran hard with it. You can actually read a recap of this controversy on Shuonhead's Wikitubia page that mentions that even mainstream celebrities received harassment over their association with the clothing brand Balenciaga. This is actually interesting. Kim Kardashian also received backlash for saying that she was unsure whether to cut ties with them, and Salma Hayek received backlash when it was found her husband was the CEO of Kering, Balenciaga's parent company. So, like, it went far and wide, dude. I will Swegda. This is where I come in. Having felt disillusioned at the idea of defending Shu from valid criticism, I did something ballsy. I quote-tweeted a neo-Nazi that Shu is friends with, who'd quote-tweeted Shu's post with the following response. And it's pretty spicy, guys. So remember, this is Shuonhead's Oomphy, who had quote-tweeted her post about Balenciaga, saying the following. We are up against demons. The groomer problem is real. It's not a quote-unquote dumb culture war issue. These people want to rape your kids in one way or another, and they think it's funny. I quote-tweeted this Oomphy of Shu's, who had quote-tweeted her post, with Shuonhead on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but this time the day after another anti-gay terror attack, and then a American Psycho meme. This person replies, Zan, please don't conflate her calling out a company for doing a really weird and gross modeling shoot with giving Nazis ammo. We should be able to call out companies doing weird shit, especially since it has nothing to do with the queer community. Obviously, my criticism isn't the calling out of weird shit. It's this stuff. It's the allowing of this stuff among her oomphies that she's literally friends with, who has literally said he got talking points from Shu to Tucker Carlson. He's that pipeline that gets talking points from Shu to Tucker Carlson. Or he was, I guess, you know? Back when Tucker was big. This was back when Tucker was on Fox News, on TV, you know? The biggest guy in the world, as far as, like, nightly political talk shows. Now, Shu replied, and this is where the pedo-jacketing thing comes from, too late, he did. And unfollowed me. Just like Contra, the serfs Hunter, etc. All of them over pedo shit. Normal and cool. Not gonna stop me from talking about it. So she actually didn't even just pedo jacket me. I'd argue she pedo jacketed ContraPoints, The Surfs, Hunter Avalone, and I guess more? I don't know who the etc. is. I thought it'd be funny to quote tweet it with a reference to American Psycho, a movie Shu likes to post memes from, but used said meme to point out how obviously harmful what she'd created had become. Naturally, she had her defenders who apparently can't read the tweet from Shu's friend, and trust me, they are friends, right above their own, but Shu's response really seals the deal. I unfollowed her because of her original tweet, and the fan response, as frankly I wasn't interested in seeing her die on the hill defending a conspiracy theory. Couldn't she have just said, child modeling is rife with abuse, I don't like this industry or the sussy photo shoot, and called out all her friends weaponizing it for homophobia? That's literally all I wanted to see. Regardless of me finding the photo shoot weird, she responded to one of her fans in my replies, heavily implying that I burned the bridge with her over her being anti-pedo, along with ContraPoints, The Surfs, and Hunter Avalone. I've had some pretty desperate drama frogs tell me that what Shu did wasn't that bad, or that it wasn't pedo jacketing. And if that's what you genuinely believe, then that's alright. I guess I can't teach you social skills all in one video. The response from Shu's community to this tweet was swift and merciless. I have a habit of just banning and blocking people who hate comments since I find it therapeutic and it kind of helps to keep nonstop negativity off of my feed. The downside is that 99.99% of the harassing comments are now deleted, banned, and blocked. Don't worry though, I always get the receipts in the end. Thankfully, I'd been posting some examples of the harassment I was getting from Shu's fans on Twitter at the time, and those screenshots still exist. A lot of them were death threats, of course, so here's just some examples. This person said, pedos are not welcome on Twitter. Hilarious reply. Obviously, just hilarious reply in every way. And then this person replied, it's because you're a pedophile, right? You're on the list. Don't ever be alone. You aren't safe. This is far from the only comments I was getting like this from Shu's fans, by the way. And it went on for like half a year. Like, as recently as like a month ago, I was still getting comments like this on that video. But you also had pretty funny interactions like this one in my replies, where one of my fans comments about the harassment brigade, with one of the brigaders right below them proving their point. This is a funny one. Pretty wild how all the Shu simps have proven you completely correct by repeatedly calling you a pedo under this post. And this person replies, quiet pedo, and gets 70 likes because, like, literally all of Shu's audience were coming out to get me. So just random people replying, calling me a pedo on my, posts about it. We're getting, like, close to 100 likes. Like, that's how much of a brigade it was. Like, there were a lot of people. You gotta be getting a lot of hate for, like, random negative replies to be getting 70 likes. You know, especially as a content creator as small as me. That wasn't the end of it, of course. Shu would go on to make a whole video defending the conspiracy theory and attacking those in the left that had criticized her for it as pedophilia enablers. At least she censored my name in the video to stymie the harassment, but there was a single person in the video she did not censor too well. That was Demon Mama. Here is the screenshot of Shu's censoring job of Demon Mama. At least we get this little bit here, with Demon Mama's, like, channel name censored, but... I mean, she got done really dirty. Now, with Shu's fans sending me and Demon Mama death threats, bolstering gay groomer panic and false pedo allegations, you can imagine that my and practically the entire online left's attention turned to our friend Vosh. If you watch me, you probably know who Vosh is, so I'll skip the introduction. He'd also been friends with Shu for even longer than I had, and he's also friends with Demon Mama too. As you can imagine, a lot of people were now expecting Vosh to be fully critical of Shu on Head. However, for literal days after the drama, he kinda hand-waved it off in a way that I can say for certain made me and much of his own community at the time pretty upset. This anger led to many chatters getting banned by Vosh for bringing up what was happening with Shu constantly. I started to become so disillusioned with my friend's literally blind defense of her, because he hadn't seen what she did, that I even went on record publicly saying that I was considering burning the bridge over this. And to be honest, many in the community at the time did not blame me for it. A lot of people were eager to see him just take the kid gloves off too. So here's an example of, like, the top thread with hundreds of likes in Vosh's subreddit at the time. I'm done with Shu. She is so careless and stupid with this whole thing, she's doing. Shu is just a reactionary homophobe who pretends she's... And Vosh's continued obfuscation of her is such an ethical failure that it makes me take him less seriously. The hypocrisy is maddening. Like, people were pissed, okay? People were pissed. And here's examples of me being pissed, because I am no hypocrite. Yeah, it sucked to burn the bridge with Vosh a month before I moved to where we can actually hang out IRL. When you realize Destiny is harder on Lauren Southern than Vosh is on Shu, Vosh won't call him out for being a Nazi because he's Shu's BF and that'd upset Shu. These are just a couple of the publicly available, publicly posted messages I made in Vosh's Discord server when this was all going down. I was very publicly in his community posting that if, like, his coverage of this continues to be so flippant and dismissive of what Shu did, that I would absolutely burn the bridge because of how hurtful it feels. So, what channel? Just like the general channel, just like where everybody was talking. You can just literally search in Vosh's Discord channel right now, burn the bridge or Shu, and search by, like, name Xanderhal and find a bunch more comments from me that are, like, that back this up. It's funny that people keep saying that I'm, like, inconsistent with Keffals on this, when, for one, the problem's never been the friendship with Shu. It's been the flippant kinda, I don't really care what she did, you know? But things get better. Now, I was already on the edge of burning the bridge. Certainly not something I'd be happy about or wanted to do, but it still felt like the right response to a situation like this. What stopped me was when Vosh said he'd go over Shu's video on stream finally. Knowing how bad the arguments in her video are, and the fact that she pedo jackets those calling her out in said video, including me in DM, my hopes were high that we would see the kid gloves actually come off. And we were right. Having a larger content creator make a vid in support of you when you're getting dogpiled is really nice, and something that's hard to relate to if you're not a content creator. And it's exactly what happened when Vosh finally responded to Shu's video. There was a YouTube bug that like, made Vosh's, like, profile picture not show up for some reason. I don't know why it's on all of his videos. I think it's disappeared from me now, but it was happening when I took the screenshot. And this is the video in question. For the first half, it's fairly mild, but once Shu starts pedo-jacketing and full-on conspiracy mongering, the kid gloves came off, and we got these famous clips. Here we go. I got 4 clips to show you guys back to back here, but they're important, I promise.
On her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but this time the day after another anti-gay terror attack.
See, that's true. That's from Xanderhal, by the way. That's a true tweet. Shu, you could, I know you'll never discuss this with me because you don't like direct confrontation, but if you discuss this with me, you would lose. And you are losing right now to me saying this because I'm objectively right. He was right. Ah, yes, and the quote tweet, the tweet he's referring to down here, was Pedro L. Gonzalez saying, "We are up against demons. The groomer problem is real. It's not a dumb culture war issue. These people want to rape your kids in one way or another, and they think it's funny." That person down there is flat out just saying all queer people, all progressives, are part of a child rape conspiracy. I don't want to follow police or anything, but I bet you if I go to their Twitter, followed by... Yeah, Shu. Shu has bragged about giving him talking points for Tucker Carlson. Shu, I'm willing to give leeway here on account of familiarity, but a total unwillingness to acknowledge why the left is freaking out here is essentially just collaboration with the far right, regardless of what you're...
Look how unanimous the support for me in this was back in the day. A lot of, like, the discussion around whether or not Shu pedo-jacketed me for real, that's kind of cropped up in all of this, is literally just context rot. Like, people have just forgotten shit, and people are preying on that to get drama clicks. It's actually wild how polar opposite the reaction was towards me a year ago.
Your actual specific positions are.
Sean had on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide...
It's looping! Okay. The next clip now, because it's 4 back-to-back clips. And they get better and better as we go. These clips are the big difference between between Keffals and Vosh, and why I burnt the bridge with Keffals after telling her what Shu did, and not with Vosh. Because Vash's reaction to finding out what Shu did was the things you're about to see. Keffals' response was sort of a flippant, and
implied I was responsible for someone else's opinion, and therefore fueling hate crimes against gay people.
Yes. Yes, this is how information works. If you popularize an idea, or promote it, or broadcast it, okay, I'm not going to even entertain this. This is fucking stupid. Shu, are you playing dumb here? You know perfectly goddamn well how this works. The far right latched onto your tweets and immediately turned it into fuel for the fire of the anti-queer, like, pedo groomer bullshit that they're doing. Why are you pretending you don't understand this? Why are you pretending this association was made by Xan?
I'm just confused how Balenciaga posting
oh yeah, it was a big claim that I was the one that was just manifesting this whole claim that people were associating the Balenciaga stuff with gay people.
an ad of kids holding stuffed animals and fetish gear turned into LGBT groomer discourse. Did I miss something? Look at the quote tweets and replies to her tweet thread from her followers. I have 500,000 followers on Twitter. I have over 1 million subscribers.
No, fuck this, dude. No, absolutely fuck this. Stop. We are way the fuck too close to death camps to be pulling this I'm not responsible for my followers' behavior shit. This isn't about being responsible for your followers. This is in an era where the entire far right has completely thrown their weight behind the queer groomer conspiracy.
Hey, by the way, Florida just did their first death penalty execution for, like, their, like, all sexual crimes against children get the death penalty, no exceptions law that they passed. Granted, from what I've seen, that guy in particular who got executed probably deserves it. But all it takes now is for just being trans or gay in public around kids to be considered a sexual crime towards children, and the death penalty, all the roads to the death penalty are set up for it now in Florida.
Conspiracy. You
They've
posting
cut that
something
red
that,
ribbon.
again, the post itself in a vacuum, I don't think was wrong. Balenciaga did do sussy shit. I don't think the post in a vacuum was wrong or harmful. But then, unfortunately, life is complicated. The far right rolls with it and turns it into this, fuel for the conspiracy. And then to not only address or condemn that immediately in that thread. I don't know how Shu could have seen the tens or hundreds of thousands of far right people clearly making this about queer people and not thrown up in her mouth. I have no idea how she can look at that. But Shu does spend, like, an awful lot of time, like, habitually communicating with far-right people. So I don't know if she just, like, pretends it doesn't happen or she ignores it.
Let's go to the next clip. It
And
keeps
implied-
let's go to the... Come on. Hey, let's go to the next clip. It keeps getting better.
Aren't they directing their anger at the brand? Why are they shooting the messenger? The worst part about this is that this tweet came from a YouTuber who I've been friends with for years. Why is this person, who I thought was my friend, doing this unhinged Stretch Armstrong reach?
I like the framing of that. Why is he doing this? It's like... There's no Stretch Armstrong reach. I just quote tweeted the person doing the thing and described it with a meme. Like... Shu, we were friends. We were, like, actually friends. I liked being friends with Shu. I enjoyed being friends with her. It wasn't an enjoyable experience to have to burn the bridge. Neither was Shu or Keffals. It's not something I like doing. But, like, it kind of felt a sort of moral pull to do so.
Fuck off. I like how in this picture you clip out the friend and oomphy of yours who's been on Tucker Carlson, who was directly linking it to queer people. How is it a reach when he's just pointing out the response of hundreds of thousands of people who jumped on to the tweets that you made? And how is this... This is such a fake weaponization of friendship here. You blocked Xan, not the other way around. You might block me after this. And yeah, Xan has been getting death threats from far-right people for days now, who have been saying, you're not safe, don't go outside at night, you're a pedophile, blah, blah. All he did was point out that a ton of far-right people jumped on this. The M2. This is a disgusting video. Nah, it's genuinely disgusting. I can only regard it with malice. This entire video is framed as a from the left enabling of the moral panic that she was accused.
Just today, Vosh said the only consistency Shu has had over the years has been being retarded word for word. Yeah, like, Vosh dunks on Shu for her bad takes. He doesn't whitewash her anymore. And not since this happened has he done so. I have no reason to be upset at what he's done. Like, I don't know why it's seen as a double standard. Like, this is just so so opposite of how Keffals reacted when I told her what Shu did.
Accused of enabling to begin with. At the end of the day, if you are a public figure, you are responsible for the outcomes of your behavior. Everyone acknowledges this. Anyone who disagrees is psychotic. I'm going to stop, playing nice with this, okay? Shu, if you believe that you should only be held accountable for the intentions of your behavior, you're a child. And frankly, you shouldn't even be online. In real life, with real people, when we talk, act, behave in any way, we are accountable not just for our intentions, but for what we do. If we intend something, but do something else, this might not always mean we're in the wrong, but we do need to acknowledge it. This video fails to even acknowledge the central premise, the fundamental thing that people are criticizing you for, the fact that this country is currently wrestling with the potential of an undemocratic future that I know you are aware of the potential of because I am friends with you and I have spoken to you. You are aware of the fact that we are currently experiencing the most vitriolic wave of anti-queer legislation and sentimentality yet seen in our lifetimes. And for some reason, in spite of all of this, you cannot even muster an acknowledgement of what people are actually mad at you for. The pretense that they are angry with you for going after Balenciaga is dishonesty on your part. It is a lie, and you know it is a lie, and you are lying deliberately, even if you pretend not to.
There's also a clip of him calling her retarded that I was gonna dig up, but I ran out of time. I'll admit the holidays kind of ended up causing me to get pushed to the wire a little bit with writing, or not even with writing it, but with collecting some of the clips. Like, there were clips I knew existed, and so I, referenced them in the script, and then I had to go dig them up, and that was actually the longer process, was digging up the clips. Anyway, while in the aftermath of all of this, Vosh still made it clear he is friends with Shu behind the scenes. He also admitted that, as it stands, platforming her uncritically and making excuses for her bad behavior is inexcusable and irresponsible, since her actions are just not something you can make excuses for. To be clear, my issue was never with Vosh being friends with Shu, but with his initial dismissal of my and many others' concerns about what she did. In fact, I think this commenter on Demon Mama's video about Vosh showing support for her says it best. Here's the comment. I feel bad for Vosh in the sense that too many random fuckers try to police his private life. Whether he's friends or not with blood on hands in private is immaterial. The literal only thing that matters is that he takes responsibility when it really counts, and doesn't hold back because they're friends, and this whole thing is proof that he's willing to do that. Couldn't have said it better myself. Really couldn't. Really couldn't have said it better than I couldn't have said it better myself. That commenter is just spot on. Absolutely spot on. I have been accused by people across the board for having a double standard, or being a hypocrite for burning the bridge with Keffals but not doing so with Vosh. I hope this clears up that the situations could have gone the same, but Vosh's actions in the end were the exact opposite of what Keffals would end up doing. I suppose I kind of got a taste of my own medicine and having felt what it was like to be the one criticizing Shu, while many on the left are still defending her. The roles had finally reversed, but in the end of it all, by most in this space, I was seen as justified. That's where the context part of this video ends, and the actual truth of what happened with Keffals and the claims that she's been making about me can be addressed. To be clear, this is not the first time I came close to burning the bridge with Keffals over the same reasons. Back in February, just a couple months after the ordeal I had with Shu, Keffals decided to bring Shu on head on stream, for a why I left the left joke to spite woke scolds that were canceling her for some dumb shit about noodles or pit crews or something. So this was why I had originally almost burnt the bridge with Keffals. She had posted this whole, why we left the left thing. Quick reminder that we are both Italian women, fascism runs through our veins and is part of our cultural heritage. It is both racist and xenophobic to criticize us for this. Just kind of a cringy meme. I was not the only person who was surprised and grossed out by this. Much like what happened recently, I reacted live on stream seeing this, saying this makes me want to burn the bridge. However, people said before said bridge could get nuked, a mutual friend who will stay unnamed but will come up later was able to get Keffals to agree to bring me on stream after Shu left. I came on and started explaining to Keffals what Shu did to me and our friends, and why her bringing Shu on stream and joking around about her love of fascists was harmful. The convo was super weird. She didn't seem willing to respond to what I was saying, and seemed very unwilling to actually talk about the topic as a whole. The chat was not happy either, and she was actually getting a lot of pushback for defending Shu. Upon seeing this, Keffals politely wrapped up the conversation and ended stream. I let the whole thing go since I could tell something was clearly up, and as it is now public, I would find out she was struggling with a drug addiction and was high during our first talk. The fact that Keffals was now getting into rehab and taking a break from streaming kinda overtook the whole ordeal for me, and I forgot about it until just over a week ago. A random chatter sent me a message with a link to a timestamp from Keffals' video on Thought Slime and Shuon Head. I obviously have no issue with people agreeing with Shuon stuff, so I don't have any problem with the video, or didn't have any problem with the video when I first saw it in my sub box. However, this chatter told me that Keffals insulted people who didn't like Shu for pedo-jacketing me and Demon Mama in the clip. The idea of that definitely made me feel hurt, and upon watching the clip, the chatter was definitely over-exaggerating a bit, but I still really didn't like what I saw. This is, of course, I don't have this clip on hand, but it's the clip of Keffals where she gets the message from the chatter saying, really don't like seeing another leftist community defend Shuon Head. She's just going to pedo-jacket you the second you disagree with her like everybody else. If anyone has a clip to it that you can put in chat super quickly, I can play it, but I'm pretty sure I phrased it word for word there. I'll admit my reaction of burning the bridge and calling her a snake on Twitter right away over this may seem rash, but this was after already having a conversation with her about what Shu did almost a year earlier, and Keffals just hand-waving it. At that moment, it felt like this was her acting with the knowledge of what Shu had done to me and indicating she didn't really care. Almost immediately, though, that mutual friend I mentioned before convinced me to calm down and reminded me Keffals wasn't sober during our first conversation, so she likely didn't remember what I told her that Shu did. This made me feel bad for blowing up at her before my stream was even over. The mutual friend and I were in DMs trying to de-escalate and bring it to a private call for sorting out. A big lie from this is that Keffals and her fans have a big lie from this that Keffals and her fans have told or fallen for is that me bringing this point up is shaming her for her drug addiction. I feel with this context it's clear that's not what I'm doing, but if you think simply mentioning someone's drug addiction could have an impact on their memory is insulting, then you may have some fundamentally insulting beliefs about people who suffer with addiction that you assume everyone else has. I see how out of context people could fall for this claim, but it's just not true. I never shamed her for her addiction. So here's the actual, post that started this whole thing. I actually deleted my original reply. It was the same message, but I actually said heroin instead, and that's just the wrong drug, because I don't know my drugs all that well, apparently. I tweeted, sorry, deleted my last reply because wrong drug and I don't want to spread lefty misinfo. She was high on cocaine and benzos when I first told her what Shu did to me on stream. I found that out and was willing to talk to her, in private, obviously, but now fuck her, because at this point, she was drama farming it. This fucker replies, once an addict, always an addict, and literally as this was all happening, I replied, shut the fuck up, it has nothing to do with addiction. The only reason I brought that up wasn't for any shaming sense, Keffals has gotten clean. It's, very admirable, regardless of how I feel about her. But it's relevant that she wasn't sober when I first told her what Shu did, because that made me feel like an asshole. Why bring up the specific drugs at all? They're public? Why is it bad to bring up the specific drugs at all? Wouldn't it be worse to not correct myself when I said the wrong drug? Because I was corrected and I deleted the original tweet and rewrote it with the correct ones. I feel like it would have been worse if I didn't. I don't know. The point that I made is that, hey, I was told she wasn't sober when I first talked to her, and that made me feel bad that I acted believing she was fully aware of what Shu did, because there's a good chance she just didn't remember it. It was prior to going to rehab, so I felt bad. If that makes me if that's shaming her, then that's crazy, dude. That's all I can say. Also, I think it's funny that people attack me for this when tweets at me making jokes like this have happened. And no, Keffals did not ask me if it was okay to joke about this with me publicly before posting. I obviously don't care, but how can you say I have no right to mention she was high when I talked to her when this is how she's joked with me publicly? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. So this is Velvet, who comes up regularly in these screenshots. Tweeted at me, "Yo, at Xanderhal, shoot your shot, King," with a screenshot from Keffals saying, "Is Xan single? I heard he's into older women and I did a bunch of meth and went to rehab. We might be a fit." And Keffals replies, "Well, at Xanderhal TV." And this is a reference to my abusive ex who stole money from me for drugs. I didn't even reply to that tweet because I was just kind of like, I don't even know how I reply to that. I don't want to bring attention to it because I'm just trying to not really have the discourse about that be too common. I'm not upset about it. It was okay, but like, you can understand how like she's gone there with me before. However, Keffals refused to handle it in private, and a day later would start her first of many drama streams milking this situation. This really starts getting crazy when Keffals did her first drama stream about me, and this is where she started lying to and about me as well. That's right, she lied to me. During her first stream about the situation, I joined the chat and tried to get myself into a call on her stream. She began making some strong claims that while I don't think were lies on her part, I didn't agree with them, and I wanted to give my perspective since I didn't plan to make any videos on the situation at the time. She agreed as long as our mutual friend Tipster would be moderating, and I hopped on. To be clear, this conversation was not an ultimatum and not a debate, but just me trying to get my side of things out. I wasn't there to debate or to get gotchas. I quickly realized Keffals was trying to farm gotchas when I noticed how bad faith she was being early on in the conversation. It started when she claimed I was unreasonable for burning the bridge so fast because of things she'd done or was willing to do for me, such as offering to raise money for me when I got sued by Sasha. The fact that I got sued by Sasha because I was talking about her in a Keffals defense video aside, I felt this argument was flawed for many reasons, at the very least because just days before, I'd been defending her on stream from negative claims and what she called death threats from Karl Max's fans. Then she said something that really stumped me for a moment, and I must admit that. While this clip was a real dunk for her in the moment, I think it's the perfect example of how blatantly Keffals is willing to lie when it's convenient to her. So I'm about to show you a clip from the conversation we had in the first stream Keffals did on this when I came on. And it's a part of the stream where I imagine a lot of people who haven't liked me in all of this, including, as you can see, Keffals' chat, think she got a pretty epic dunk on me. So let's watch.
Yeah, and while you were getting massively harassed by Karl Max's community sending you death threats and shit because that dude's a piece of shit, I literally just here, let me check when it was on my channel.
Okay, for the record, his community never sent me death threats.
They were sending you the falling anvil emote. Like, isn't that like a reference at... I know it's like a thing with his, like, branding, but that's implying... I swear anyway, whatever, sorry. Anyway, like, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, it's not even up yet. Like, I'll still have...
I like how you can see the people in chat spamming like Xan get therapy and all sorts of very nasty, nasty stuff I've been getting. Now, the reason why I showed this clip, and despite what Keffals says in this clip to throw me off, this is her speaking about Karl Max just days before, and the reason I said what I did in that clip. This is the first and most blatant and provable lie that Keffals has told to try to get one over on me in all of this. So here's a clip from literally days before that.
And I feel like a lot of positions that I had were not being considered and I was being misrepresented. I was trying to ask for context and I wasn't getting context for the situation. And now people have started doing anvil dog whistling apparently in response to this debate, which just makes them look like groypers. Like, I'm sorry. But saying that, oh, it's just a joke, it's like Looney Tunes style violence, is dog whistling. What does the anvil falling on someone represent? It represents doing harm to someone. It's really fucking obvious. I don't know why people are suddenly okay with it.
So that is just her objectively lying. Now, who she's lying to here is actually the real question. Is she lying about Karl Max's fans sending death threats? Here, in this clip? Or was she lying to me about Karl Max's fans not sending death threats? This is the first of many lies that she has told to try to get a one-up on me. I don't know. Which one? When was she lying? She wasn't lying. She got it wrong. That is some crazy charitability. That's crazy. Hold on. After playing that clip of her saying that she was getting anvil dog whistles that are like groypers for doing cartoon violence or whatever, let's replay that first clip where she denies it. I'm sorry, there's people in chat that want to be really, really stubborn and condescending and are going to try very hard to pretend they don't understand what I'm saying. So we're gonna replay the clip again.
Yeah, and while you were getting massively harassed by Karl Max's community sending you death threats and shit because that dude's a piece of shit, I literally just let me check when it was on my channel.
Okay, for the record, his community never sent me death threats.
They were sending you the falling anvil emote. Isn't that like a reference that... I know it's like a thing with his, like, branding, but that's implying... I swear anyway, whatever, sorry. Anyway, like, I'm pretty sure...
So... I'm pretty certain that's just blatantly lying. You don't just forget a few days later that you got a brigade of death threats. You don't conveniently forget that. She was lying about one or the other. Either way, in one of those clips, she's lying. But I'll show more examples, don't you guys worry. There's no question as to whether or not she lied about this. The question is when she was lying. Was she lying about Karl Max's community not sending death threats, or was she lying about them sending death threats? Obviously, this lie isn't super serious or anything, but it's chronologically the first and also one of the most blatant and provable she's made about me. It also didn't help that Keffals seemed pretty unbothered by what Shu did to me in DM, and has even claimed she has seen no evidence of Shu pedo-jacketing me. What's funny about that is how low the bar is for Keffals to consider herself to have been pedo-jacketed. This was her reaction to a half-second FBI open-up soundbite playing to censor her swearing in Foreign Man in a Foreign Land's video. To be clear, I agree with her in what she says here, but I don't see why this energy isn't carried over for Shu. What she did wasn't a meme. So here's where the bar is to be considered pedo-jacketing if it's about Keffals.
I don't take it back. I don't take it back. They are... FBI, open up! So, the sound effect, FBI open up. I don't know if you're aware of what that means, but the Urban Dictionary definition, the top one, is that it's a meme that implies that the FBI is raiding your house because you have child porn on your computer. So, in the worst possible interpretation of this, Foreign just played into the right-wing talking points about trans people being groomers and pedophiles. And in the best interpretation that I can think of, I got mocked for being hate crimed.
I agree with her here, by the way. I completely agree with her here. I just don't see why the energy isn't carried over for Shu and what she said, which was just a lot more blatant in my opinion. As the conversation went on, she continually got more and more bad faith as her chat got more and more thirsty for blood. In the clip I played before, you can even see her chat spamming get therapy, and those are the nicer comments I've gotten. Eventually, she felt the ground was laid enough to say some pretty nasty things to me. For example, I pretty much decided the conversation was over when she told me she doesn't think I have any friends.
Is it alright if first I read the messages that I'd sent you after my stream? Or during my stream and after?
Why do you want to make this... I don't think you have friends, Zan.
I've got plenty of friends, so...
The fact that you're willing to immediately go into drama content about this with...
I literally hadn't done any drama content, uploaded a single video. She'd proceeded to do 5 streams and a video.
I literally just said I'm not doing drama Okay, is it alright if I just read the messages that I sent to you? Is it alright if...
So, yeah, kinda felt a little rude. I felt like the conversation wasn't going anywhere productive after that, so that's when I decided it would be best to leave. After that, I left, and Keffals played up a sad reaction like she's surprised and disappointed that conversation didn't lead to the bridge being rebuilt. and because I didn't choose to make up with her after what she said to me, I've been framed as the asshole. Since this point, she has also continually given me flack for making this ordeal public, but while I and our mutual friends tried to get her to de-escalate, she refused. For transparency's sake, I will say, she apparently reached out to that mutual friend I mentioned before a couple days ago to talk it out in private. I'm happy to do this still, I'm happy to do this still, I suppose, but I still feel I have the right to correct the dishonest claims she's already made about me first. I thought it would all end with that, but apparently, me tweeting in response to people shitting on me and responding to chatters justified another stream. While I can't touch on everything she said about me in this one, I can hit on some of the highlights. This point is when she basically threw all honesty out the window. This is where the clip chimping began. One of the most damning lies she's told about me is that I'm friends with a kiwi farmer. She got this lie from a clip I've no doubt her orbiters surgically edited out themselves. Here's the clip you would have seen from Keffals' stream. So this is from when I had Maddie saw. So this is from when I had Ethan on my stream shortly after he debated President Sunday as his intro to debating and being online with content and stuff. And we were basically just chatting, talking about random shit while he played Risk of Rain. This is the clip edited that Keffals showed. And those of you guys who were there during the stream didn't get upset at this because you saw the full context live. So you guys already know. You guys already know. You're the ones who know. The other day, Maddie saw a post on Reddit that mentioned me in a list.
No. It was on Kiwi Farms. Remember?
Oh, it was on Kiwi Farms. Yeah. So for those that don't know, Maddie is very progressive and also uses Kiwi Farms as just she's sort of a.
This is what I was talking about, chat. Yeah, I think that Zan didn't want Ethan to say Kiwi Farms either, but because Ethan said Kiwi Farms out loud, it made Zan have to say.
I mean, I didn't really... I mean, I obviously don't want people to assume that I'm just friends with an actual Kiwi farmer, but you'll find out the context in a minute.
Zan's friend is progressive and also uses Kiwi Farms. You know, the progressives that use the far-right internet harassment website, they got me swatted.
Browser of it. She doesn't post there ever, but
yeah, she's not a poster.
She looks at it, and she mostly just looks at yeah, she looks at mostly animal abusers, like that one lady that I covered. I forget what her name is. I think her name was Isabella Jenke. She was really big online and got exposed by Kiwi Farms for being a pedophile, zoophile, racist, homophobic, transphobic abuser of multiple trans people in her life. Yeah, those people. Kiwi Farms is still up. Yeah, it's still up. It's just really hard to access. And it's also very insecure now because Cloudflare dropped them, and that's the best proxy service online. That's thanks to Keffals, which is actually, I'd say pretty based because Kiwi Farms does some bad shit, but they also do some good shit.
In absolutely no circumstance do you need to hand it to Kiwi Farms.
Just watch. Just wait.
What the fuck, dude?
I do wish that the group of people on Kiwi Farms that are going after people who blend chinchillas and the people who are just blend chinchillas, transphobic weirdos that are just harassing people.
I think that a lot of the people who gather on Kiwi Farms are even whenever they're attacking someone bad, they tend to be not great people themselves, and they're trying to justify who they are by, it's like pedo hunters who either actually ruin cases or just, it's clear they're not chasing it because they care about it. It's clear they're chasing it because they want to feel like a good person. They're doing a good thing objectively, and I wouldn't get rid of them even. Maybe some pedo hunters who fuck up evidence, but I wouldn't even call them good people. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing, but yeah, basically
Xanderhal just called Kiwi Farms a complicated thing, and both sides Kiwi Farms.
Zan seems like he would fit in with the Kiwi Farms crowd. I feel like this is the point where it'd be a good time to put in my response, because it's pretty good. I'll play the full clip in a moment, but I'm going to add my response first with the context of the situation. While this clip was obviously dishonestly edited, there's more context you should know. Maddie is a friend of mine who was doxxed and had her nudes leak online, notably on Kiwi Farms years ago. Maddie isn't her real name, by the way. It's a fake name. My friend Ethan gives a lot of his friends fake names and calls them by that, like their real names. He's done it with another one of our friends and calls them Stu, so it's just a thing he does. Because of this, she started browsing the forum much in the same way that Keffals has, for those that don't know. Yes, Keffals has admitted in the past to browsing Kiwi Farms, due to being a literal victim of harassment by the board. Maddie doesn't have an account on the site, she just browses it. More importantly, she would sometimes browse it to get info on my stalker. I won't name him because he's a clout goblin and feeds off of attention, but he has harassed me, Vosh, and Keffals, and was outed as a pedophile on Kiwi Farms not long ago. If getting info on a Nazi pedo stalker from Kiwi Farms makes you pro-Kiwi Farms, then I have bad news for Keffals. Because she has used Kiwi Farms as a source many, many times. Many, many fucking times, dude. It's a website. There are a lot of people on it. Most of them are pieces of shit. Some of them aren't. That's how any population works. I want the people who are not pieces of shit, that do sometimes good things, like go after animal abusers on there that are in their own little separate corner of the website, to leave, and for the site to crumble. And for their stopping of animal abusers to happen on another site, not giving more airtime and power to the doxing stalking forum. Particularly because, and this is the most important part, also, if it wasn't for Maddie, I wouldn't know amazing things about that hell site, like the fact that they segregate all the female users of the site to the containment zone, where all the makeup community drama and T-channel drama is kept, along with the turf and man-hate threads. I also feel it would be remiss of me not to bring up that Keffals started streaming in 2021, while I had my full name, age, me and my parents' home address doxed by Kiwi Farms back in late 2019 when I was 20 years old. I had to move to avoid getting swatted or having someone come to my house. It's insane to me that Keffals would accuse me of being in favor of this site when I've dealt with their harassment longer than her, and people just ignore that fact because she got popular off of opposing Kiwi Farms. Guys, I literally got doxxed. My parents, my whole family got doxxed. Addresses and everything got doxxed before Keffals even started streaming by Kiwi Farms. I am not pro Kiwi Farms. The fact that she would try to twist this shit into claiming that I am, after the shit that I've dealt with from that site, is disgusting. I was 20, living with my parents, and had to explain to them our address has leaked on the internet, and bad people might call false police calls to our house, and they wanted me to stop streaming and delete my channel. I've talked about this in the past. Long-term viewers will know. I literally had to move to another room and lie to everybody, like literally lie to the public, lie to the internet, and say that I'd moved to Miami and moved in with a roommate to convince the people who had doxed me that I didn't live with my parents anymore. That was back in 2019. Anyway, the conversation goes on a lot longer. Only comment I want to add is you did support Drop Kiwi Farms. Yes, I did. I put a lot of support behind Drop Kiwi Farms too. So it's just insane she claimed this. Saying I wish people who only go after animal abusers and weren't using Kiwi Farms and normalizing it is not both sides in Kiwi Farms. I've also been accused of being a hypocrite for being friends with Nicholas Diorio and Willie Mack Show after they slandered her. To be honest, I've never been close enough with these people or either party to consider us friends. They have the mod wrench in my YouTube chat, just like Keffals and every other big YouTuber who behaves in chat, but besides that, I've mostly just covered their videos and debated them. In fact, that clip she's using is literally me grilling Nick for how much he hates Tipster while he's in my chat. That's literally me publicly defending Tipster from Nick's rude comment about him in chat. Here's the link of Keffals claiming that I'm a hypocrite. Jesus Christ. Why are you so, like, hateful towards Tipster, Nicholas Diorio?
There you go. There you fucking go. It's right there. I didn't know that the Kiwi Farms connections ran so deep with this fucking guy.
Jesus Christ. Why? That's literally me calling him out in my chat for saying rude shit about Nick Diorio, publicly grilling him live as he's in my chat for being rude about Tipster. Ran deep? Yeah, no, she's really trying to spin a narrative, if you haven't been able to tell from the clips, as they get, like, more and more, you know, bizarre, the allegations, and further away from where this started. This all started with me deciding I don't want to be friends with her anymore because of her defense of Shu, and now she's claiming I'm a Kiwi farmer, or that my Kiwi Farms roots run deep. Yeah, my roots run deep to getting my whole family doxxed by Kiwi Farms and having to move. The irony of this point is actually twofold. For one, Keffals has praised Willie Mack's show for his debate and coverage against Hassan, as have I, so I have no reason to assume my engagement with his content would be out of line. And on top of that, if me ever positively speaking about them or their content is so bad, I must ask the same question you and many others have asked me. Why are you still friends with Vosh? To be clear, for honesty's sake, this is an older clip.
I feel like the drama community isn't as reactionary as I used to think it was. I'm suspicious of the drama community, but I don't know if I said this on stream, but I a YouTube drama person, Nicholas Diorio, has come on Twitch recently.
No, Tipster's cool.
And I popped in for a bit because I don't know, person on Twitch, why not, you know? And I actually got the impression that he was a pretty intelligent, you know, morally adjusted. I watched his stream for like 2 hours when I found he was there. I thought it was, you know, pretty nice, I think. And I actually got the impression of Nicholas Diorio being a fairly very intelligent and at least fairly empathetic. I mean, I didn't see him rescue any cats on stream, but the empathetic person, which I thought was nice. I feel like the drama.
So, listen. If it's so, why do the Kiwi Farms roots run so deep with Vosh? Just praising this Kiwi farmer. Jeez. Another claim made about me around her second stream, from her fan base actually, was the claim I had transphobic and weird takes about David Raymer and bottom surgery. People clipped a quote to make me look bad and make Keffals look better. But the funny thing is, that was me defending Keffals after she was canceled for saying this. It was a clip from my recent video where I was defending Keffals from her cancellation on her bottom surgery take. Someone had just clipped, and it was just me reciting Keffals' take. And it was a Keffals fan trying to frame me as transphobic for saying what she said. But here's the clip of Keffals saying what I said that I got canceled for, I guess.
No, you don't need dysphoria to be trans. I don't know why everyone assumes that I'm a trans medicalist. I don't know why that is a constant thing that people say. This has been like an accusation over the past 2 months that I don't understand. It's incredibly exhausting. I've made it clear repeatedly, I'm not a trans medicalist. I think the thing that people said, that sussed people out, is that I said if you're going to get bottom surgery, you should have dysphoria. Because if you don't have dysphoria and you get bottom surgery, you're probably going to have dysphoria after you get bottom surgery. And people got mad about that for some reason. I don't understand. It should be common sense, but I think the problem is that people are looking for reasons to be mad.
I don't have a super strong opinion on the take, so disagree with it or not, I don't really care, but it was literally Keffals fans trying to cancel me for saying exactly what Keffals did in a video defending her, but trying to frame me as bad and Keffals as good. It was really weird. Like, that wasn't something, to be fair, that I think Keffals pushed herself, but pretty big people in her orbit were, and that's why I felt, you know, it's worth acknowledging. As her streams have gone by, her claims about me have piled up far beyond anything having to do with me not being friends with her anymore. It's gone from what you could argue is just her venting her feelings to a train to a train of drama streams filled with lies and misrepresentations of me that have had a severe impact on my channel. This is just as much as like Social Blade lets me fit into the thing, but like, yeah, I've lost over 3,000 subs from this for sure. Now, obviously the sub loss has pretty much stopped now, but I do feel the need to clear the air up. It felt so weirdly spiteful for her to prey on my downfall like this after I've been so charitable to her. My only drama segment I've done on this situation was just a stream, was shortly after the stream I went on where she lied to my face. I explained my side to my stream, and then brought Tipster in to give his perspective unchallenged as a neutral party. He wants nothing to do with this drama, and has been very nice and understanding to both of us, and he leans more on Keffals' side. Having him on to give her side on my stream seemed like an act of good faith from me. Keffals' response was to make another drama video, but to frame my platforming of her side on my stream as Tipster confronting or epically owning me. So here's her thumbnail. Tipster confronts Xanderhal on burning the bridge. That like stream segment that wasn't even a video was going to be my final statement on it, and I was so good faith I brought Tipster in to uncontested give Keffals' side of things because she couldn't be there. What, cis people get bottom surgery? It's a hypothetical auto roll. The argument is about a hypothetical. Like that is where this all started, was Keffals engaging with a hypothetical and then getting canceled for it, me defending her for having that take in that hypothetical, me quote tweeting someone who seems to have a moral inconsistency in the case of if there were cis people who had gotten bottom surgery regrettably and didn't, it was mistakenly, they didn't actually have dysphoria and they thought they did, which is not something that really happens now, to be fair, but it's a hypothetical. Then their dysphoria as a cis person to transition back to the gender they were assigned at birth is just as valid as the dysphoria of a trans person. And I use the David Raymer example because that whole thing not only proves that dysphoria is real, but it proves that dysphoria is an impulse guiding you to the correct identity, that you have some sort of innate internal knowledge that you are. Trans people feel this innate understanding from a very young age that they are not the gender they were assigned at birth, usually. And that's not what she said. It was in a Discord thread, okay? I was steel manning Keffals, okay? I was steel manning Keffals. Maybe I shouldn't have, all right? Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I'm willing to bite that bullet. Maybe I should not have steel manned Keffals there. I was just trying to engage with a hypothetical, but yeah. I took most of the days she was drama farming me off, since the amount of hate in my chat and DMs was getting to be a lot to deal with. As Keffals' claims about me got meaner and more extreme, the comments followed in kind. They got probably the worst when Keffals opened the door to attacking me for having been a victim of abuse, like when she claimed that my abusive ex made me weird about women. Most people haven't recognized this, though, because she has been pretending to play nice. So this is a clip of her pretending to play nice, I would argue.
Like I was actually saying to I've said multiple times to my community that Xan isn't an abuser. Please don't psychoanalyze Xan. I said Xan is he's a good person. I like him personally.
Notice how contradictory this is to everything else she said about me. But here's her 7 minutes later. Here's her literally 7 minutes later.
So, Velvet had a speculation about why Xan is acting like this, and I think the reason why possibly could be that because he had an abusive ex-girlfriend, he's now just kind of weird with women. That's kind of where I'm leaning on this. Because he has a history specifically of burning the bridge with women. So, Velvet had a spec.
That's that orbiter of Keffals, by the way, Velvet. That's a good friend of hers. Was once a fan of mine, but then started joining the big Xanderhal derangement syndrome movement and all of this, and has been a big pusher of a lot of the hate. You've probably seen a lot of posts from Velvet. While the people weaponizing my trauma against me were pretty bad, what really hurt was seeing people who were regulars in my community message me, telling me they want to see me crumble and my career fail, or even just the ones that were nice but indicated they were so unable to see my side that they thought I shouldn't even make a response at all. I got some comments here I got that, these were in website chat and I banned them. Christ, Xanderhal, get help, because you are fucked up. You're doing the thing you claim to be against. Spread false abuse allegations. To be fair, I did that. It was on accident, and I apologize. Good job. Way to go. Feel ashamed. I can't fucking believe I donated... This is from a different person. I can't fucking believe I donated to you twice, you massive piece of shit. Making me feel like my autistic ass can stream from your complete BS. Give it 1 month, and you'll just be another Keemstar drama YouTuber. Fucking crumble. And there were, like, nicer messages like this that just kind of... still felt pretty bad. Hey, apologies for the message, but I really do think the best bet in this drama would be to just ignore this. IDK if you're going to make a whole segment about it again or not, but it'd really come off petty for you to make another one. Keffals had made 5 by this point. So hopefully you don't, and just continue to make good political content. Prayer emoji. Hope this message reaches you in good stead. They were nice, but it's like they indicate they have so little faith in me. It kind of... That almost hurts more than the insults, you know? I wish I had the time and wrist durability to respond to every point she's made about me here, but I have no doubt the chat will have reminded me of plenty of her claims and lies and forced me to respond to them when this goes live. It's literally impossible for me to keep up with 6 streams and a 2-hour video's worth of lies and misinfo about me, but I hope I've demonstrated her dishonesty clearly enough that you can tell what game she's playing now. Really quick, if you've watched this far, please make sure to include the word corkscrew in your comment if you make one, so I know you watched this far. With how much people have indicated they don't even want to hear my side of things, it won't surprise me if most of the negative comments on this video don't include that word that tells me they watched to the end. Unfortunately, I have a lot of people who hate me, and when they smell blood in the water, they also jump in to attack. One of the original things used against me by people from Keffals' community is my supposed hate obsession with Lance. From the Surfs TV. Lance was friends with the serial abuser and disgraced YouTuber Illuminati, who was outed broadly as such after she falsely accused Legal Eagle's editor of plagiarism. He defended her claims against Legal Eagle, which was already quite dumb, but what really upset me was when he made a whole video supporting her now proven lies about her former co-workers she abused and calling her victims malicious liars. So here's the screenshot of that video. I know I gotta kind of zoom in, actually. Illuminati debunks the malicious claims from former Sad Milk team. Her receipts are insane. That was her original apology dunk on the Sad Milk team video that got, like, viral hate. And he defended her. I covered this awful video full of abuse apologia when it came out, and Lance quickly began getting hate for it. His response was unbelievable. He just deleted the video and to this day pretends like he never made it. He did respond to me, though, and in said response he refuses to play any part of my video talking about this and rewrites history. The news story is that he just defended her against Legal Eagle, which is cringe but certainly not too bad if that was what had really happened. He knows he can't turn this into a W, so he's tried to make it a smaller L. So here's his quote tweet of me. I really enjoyed the new H-Bomber Guy video and thought the call out for the Legal Eagle fiasco, which I've apologized to him publicly for, was great and deserved. The rest of the video on plagiarism is required watching for anyone so do check it out. True, you should check it out. Yeah, L for Lance. Because of his successful rewriting of history on this topic, I've been framed as the one who's obsessed and can't let a grudge go. Which kind of contributes to this overall idea that I'm super unreasonable and on edge and super ready to burn bridges all the time. While they want to stay out of it, one of the many people Illuminati abused knows what Lance said and appreciates me calling him out. Lance and his friends were part of her wave of harassment she sent to them to cover her own ass, so I do think he needs to make a public apology to them all. Also, if you would like to support the creators who were financially abused by Illuminati, their channel links will be down in the description below. On top of this, another Xan hater named President Sunday tried his best to clout chase off of this. We got the first tweet from President Sunday. Xanderhal, you're a man-child, so perhaps it hasn't occurred to you that you making yourself look absolutely pathetic could endanger the income you get from being a social media character. Consider growing the fuck up. Very good. It's a little ironic since President Sunday and Keffals hate each other, but hey, content is content, and I'm their mutual enemy. He began defending Shu on Twitter and claiming that her husband isn't a fascist, and that she never pedo-jacketed me or Demon Mama. He's actually a modernist, Catholic, authoritarian, liberal theocrat, but I don't think we're ready for that conversation. My connection to Eudaimonia is as an antagonist. That's why I criticize all of his material on my channel. I'm just doing so on the theory level with him. He's actually a modernist, Catholic, authoritarian, liberal theocrat. He actually said that with a straight face. I cannot believe it. He wanted to debate me on whether Shu pedo-jacketed me or not, but doing so would only give him the attention he wants. How do you debunk a clout chaser? By sending someone else to chase his clout. My good buddy Ethan/RK finally started doing YouTube after years of me begging him to do so, when he agreed to do a debate with Sunday on whether Shu pedo-jacketed me. Here's the thumbnail for that video. It'll be linked down below, by the way. Explaining social convention to a weirdo, and then plus chatting and the rest of the stream stuff. And the cool Wojak thumbnail as well is a reference to It's Always Sunny because of the implication. Yeah, Ethan's the goat. It was absolutely hilarious. I haven't seen much from President Sunday, but apparently he's never gotten that ass mad during a debate before. At one point, he starts yelling over Ethan to keep him from reading out this tweet exchange. And it's the one... It's the tweet exchange where Shu pedo jackets me, where I quote tweet the Nazi that she's friends with, and she says I unfollowed her over pedo shit, normal and cool. He also tries to call me a hypocrite for still working with Brianna Wu on political advocacy despite something awful she said about Demon Mama and her partner. But as I've said before, I've never been asked by either of them, not even when eating fried fish with Demon Mama on my couch, that they were made uncomfortable by me working with Brianna. Also, I work with people who sided with Lonnie, like, in that whole thing, okay? It's political action, like, actual, real political action. Like, that, it's not friendship, it's actually working to keep Republicans out of power with progressive victory. Like, yeah, it's not that, like, there were literally people in that group that backed Lonnie, my abuser, my ex, that I suck it up and work with because it's for the actual betterment of the political status of this country and the improvement of people's rights. Like, I am still working with Keffals on that, I believe. I don't know if Keffals is on there yet, but I think she will be working with them. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I will absolutely still work with Keffals on actual political action. Don't get me wrong. Also, to be clear, the people wronged in this don't want it to be made a big deal. I hate to even have to acknowledge it, but I feel it's important because claims have been made about me for it. But Sunday just kept bringing it up against the wishes of the people who are wronged. So it just feels, regardless, just let it die, is what I've been asked. At this point, I've had to say this so many times, I'm pretty sure it's impossible for them not to know that's an option if they want to pursue it, and I wouldn't blame them if they did, but they haven't. And that's, of course, approaching me and asking me not to associate with Brianna Wu. If I was asked that, I would. I really don't think we have time to debunk any more bullshit in this video as much as I would like to. It's so sad to me that this whole last week, or this whole last 2 weeks, really, the entire left is obsessed over the friendship of me and Keffals, while someone else in our community went through one of the most traumatic experiences ever, and people talked about it for like half a day. I haven't really talked much about this, but it kind of really stressed me out a bit, like, right before I got caught up in this whole Keffals drama. I will not tell you the whole story here, since they have both done so on their own platforms. My friends Hunter Avalone and Holly were attacked by a man with a shotgun about a week ago, and Holly was shot in the leg and injured. The situation has been awful for them, and now the worst people you can imagine are dogpiling them because they see them as vulnerable. For those that don't know, obviously I've known Hunter Avalone for quite some time. We've been publicly friends and all that good stuff. But Holly, I've actually been friends with for longer than Hunter and Holly knew each other, as far as I know. I know Holly through a mutual friend, and like we're not like best friends or anything. I wouldn't say that, but like we've played like maybe 20 hours of CS2 together, you know? She's in my Final Fantasy 14 free company. You've been on her stream. I have been on her stream, yeah. It was stressful thing. And now, although this is lightened up a bit, but it's still happening, obviously, because you know how these people are, the worst people on the internet are harassing them. This is John Doyle, who's a neo-Nazi, by the way, who tweeted, "I'm happy that my good friend Hunter Avalone and his girlfriend are safe. Hopefully he will listen to himself, beg the police to hurry as he lets his woman block the door from their estranged lover." This is obviously a massive twisting of reality to make it sound bad to people who are on the right, you know, from their estranged lover after having suffered a gunshot, and reform his anti-police positions. Fucking ghoulish. So I quote tweet him with something that is absolutely true and a perfect example of the kind of forbidden knowledge I have that I so badly wish I could leak. But, you know, if I do leak that, then I become the kind of person people don't go to leak these things anymore. And, you know, I do like knowing the gossip. Your ex-GF literally messaged me on Instagram years ago, by the way, to tell me what a weirdo you were, trying to push tradwife shit on her, you fucking shitbag. You have no business gloating over people you disagree with online getting shot. I'm not lying about that. And no, I will not show it, because, you know, forbidden knowledge. There will be links down below to both of their GoFundMes, and Hunter told me he prefers if you donate to Holly's fundraiser if you can only afford one, since she has medical bills and moving fees to cover. They were doxxed by the media because of this and the police investigation, so moving and medical bills are expensive. I really hope the attention this drama video gets is able to be funneled into a good cause at least. Please send some love to Hunter and Holly because they could use it right now. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope you all had a good holiday break. I'm so lost. Listen, we're using the end of this drama to funnel attention to something that actually matters, because the fact that this nothing drama happened at the same time as someone in this space, a friend of mine, getting fucking shot, and the drama over who I'm friends with was bigger and more talked about, like the stuff with Holly and Hunter got talked about for like half a day, is insanely ridiculous, especially when they were getting massively hate rated by the far right, by like tons of groypers and neo-Nazis. Nick Fuentes was heading a hate brigade on them. So yeah, go send them some fucking love. In fact, because I've got 700 plus people watching live, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to drop the links in chat now. But yes, that's basically the long and short of it. She's told more lies about me, and I'm sure I'll get to, like, responding to them in the future, just sort of in passing. But this is really all I plan to do is, like, my final statement in regards to this. Keffals has apparently messaged our mutual, like, friend wanting to, like, talk in private and, like, work things out, and I'm totally fine to do that. But, I still think I'm in the right to, like, respond to the shit she said about me, you know? I actually had to rewrite that script a couple times because I'll admit there was some pretty spicy stuff in there that was going to be included, but once again, for the safety of other people involved, it just couldn't be included. So, like, I just decided to stick with just giving my side of the story, and that's it. But yeah, at the end of the day, listen, guys, do you still think she is the new DJ Mule? Because I still feel like the guy is a much larger piece of shit. I think she's the new DJ Mule, and what I meant by that, and still mean by that, is the sense that she is now the most prominent hater of me, you know? I feel like DJ Mule's been dethroned by her as, like, the prime person who hates me. Like, no one's made more hate videos on me than Keffals, besides maybe my stalker. And I don't think Keffals is a stalker. She just really milked this for drama. And I guess that's the final point I'd like to respond to. I have done 2 pieces of content at all about this, okay? My first stream, in which I just basically vented a bit after my conversation with her after her first stream about me, and brought Tipster on as a sign of good faith in order to give Keffals' side. Literally went radio silent on anything Keffals related besides occasionally responding to chatters because I didn't want to feed into her. She continued to make 4 more segments on me. And I admit the stream she made correcting the false allegations of her being an abuser made by her abuser that I very mistakenly retweeted. I just, much like in cases with her where she's seen like severe allegations towards someone she doesn't like in chat and repeats them because holy shit, I don't like this person. This seems damning. I just got an own. But then it turns out they're not true. I pulled a Keffals. I unironically pulled a Keffals, and I apologize. I truly do. For multiple reasons, I apologize. A, because, you know, that's fucked up to do to Keffals. I've been in the position that she was in, like getting Darvoed by your abusive ex online and people believing it and supporting those allegations. I've had that happen to me, and you guys know how I feel about the people who, like, supported Lonnie, right? Or at least the people who supported Lonnie and didn't do their due diligence and fully coming out to say, that was wrong. I was wrong to do that, like I am now. And it just sucks as well because, you know, this is also applies to another situation, the Dream situation. I don't know all the details, but from what I can see, Dream apparently did a pretty good job of debunking the claims that he's a groomer or a pedo, and I feel really bad that I've jumped on the bandwagon of shitting on him and, like, making fun of him and giving, like, he did not. I don't know. I'm not, once again, with how muddy the waters are, it's not just the Keffals thing. I feel a responsibility to be more careful about this kind of stuff with everything. So if I talk about the Dream stuff in the future, it's going to be after doing some deep dive research. Because I don't want to make that mistake again with anybody, you know? I have a responsibility not to promote that kind of shit. I've had it done to me too many times, and I know how it feels. You know, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, I apologize for that wholeheartedly. And on top of that, I want to acknowledge a comment I saw earlier from someone that I wanted to get to, but it kind of would have derailed me, saying, I think it's weird your friend goes on kiwi farms to look at videos of animals getting abused. I'm going to pretend you're being good faith, okay? I'm going to pretend you're being good faith because I imagine it's possible someone could have heard what I said and interpreted any of it that way. So for those that don't know, Kiwi Farms is a doxing and harassment forum. Who they dox and harass depends on what board or thread they're on. It's a bit like 4chan. You guys know how, like, 4chan isn't all Nazis and crazy weirdos. Like, there are actually boards on 4chan that are kind of not Nazi hellscapes, really. The same is the case for Kiwi Farms, but it doesn't change the fact that 4chan and Kiwi Farms are hell sites that just... The world would be better if they didn't exist. 4chan's far more sanitized than Kiwi Farms? True. However, they do that harassment and doxing to people who abuse animals. And while it's not my favorite pastime to harass and dox people or even look at the harassing and doxing of people that are, like, animal abusers, like, it's not for me. If it's what someone's into and they're not, like, a right-wing weirdo because I know their beliefs, because I know them well, like, that I know they're not a Kiwi Farms weirdo, you know? Especially if they're giving me info on, like, my stalker, who's also Keffals' stalker, by the way. Like, the info that Maddie was collecting for me was on the stalker that stalked both me and Keffals. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure at some point, like, in the future, you know what might happen? Because Ethan was kind of implicated in a lot of these lies, due to him getting clipped. Ethan, aka RK, will likely do, like, an actual full response to Keffals' stream where she clipped him and I talking and give the actual, like, full context. Because to be fair, like, Maddie's my friend, but, like, not, like, super close. Like, we hang out in a Discord call sometimes, right? Like, I don't know all the details, but as I've had it explained to me, she was doxxed and had her nudes leaked on Kiwi Farms, and that's kind of how she became acquainted with the site. And I'll admit, I browsed the site particularly to find out if more info on me got doxxed a fair amount after I first got my shit leaked on there. My whole address, my family's address got doxxed. I browsed Kiwi Farms to see if more info was leaking. Does that make me a Kiwi farmer? Because Keffals did the same thing. I don't know. Regardless, the hypocrisy is clear, and it just feels so disingenuous of her to pretend like she's just like defending herself here when like I've been radio silent besides to be that very mistake of a retweet through all of this and like some responses to chatters. But that's really all I have to say about it. If Keffals wants to make a response to this, I honestly will give her the floor to do so, unless she really goes over the top with like lies or like mischaracterizations of me, which I'm going to be really good faith and say I don't think she will. She messaged our mutual friend saying she wants to work things out and bury the hatchet and not be at active hostilities, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to like actively be at each other's throats. I just don't want to be friends anymore. Like if like that's something she still wants to do after this, I'm even fine with her making a response as long as it's just honest within reason. I'm okay with some bias, but if she just straight up lies, like with the Karl Marx thing, for example, then I might feel compelled to respond again. But I don't know if I'll do it in such an organized form, because God, this was a lot. And boy, did I not even give you guys the half of how much hate I have gotten. The amount of hate has been in-fucking-sane, dude. In-fucking-sane. And it's sad because it's been from a lot of, like, my own fans, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of it has literally been from people that have been regulars in my community. And I guess I get that they, you know, they fell for it and all that. But still, it sucks, you know? Anyway, as I said before, here is Holly's GoFundMe link. And let me grab Hunter's GoFundMe link. Like I said, they got doxxed by all of this. They have to move. Like, both of them have to move. Plus, their shit got fucked. Like, all their stuff got, like, rummaged through by the police, because that's what they do when you're the victim of a crime. So those are the GoFundMe links. Please go send some support. They'll be linked in the description as well when this video goes out as a video. So we're turning the drama views into positive views, because frankly, the attention this whole drama got should have gone to Hunter's situation in the first place, because, you know, I think getting shot is more like, I'm sorry, but getting shot is more serious than this, you know? Keffals is looking over the script right now, the script for this Sandstream. Oh yeah, is she actually responding live? I won't, like, live watch her response, but, like, I don't like that she's just reading the script and not watching, because I play the clips, and she can just decide not to play the clips. That's a little... Well, like I said, I'll give her the ground to have her last word. I'm not really interested in having called you slimy. Ooh. 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 She's calling me slimy. But yeah, this is pretty much my last word, unless she says some really out-of-this-world shit about me. But I've got other stuff to cover, and more stuff to do, so with all that said, thank you for hearing me out.